Hey everybody, Paul Darren here. Welcome back to my channel. All the world's a stage and we are merely players, right? So whether you're an entertainer or an actor or a model or you're just a character out there in the world, this video is for you. You know, we're living in a time, we're living in a movie right now. We're living in a time of change and uncertainty and people are feeling a great deal of fear and anxiety and frustration, having reservations about the future, about what's going on, where's it all going, where are we going, and maybe you're mentally exhausted or maybe you're physically tired. Stress puts a lot on you. It takes a lot out of your body, right? And or maybe you've overindulged. Maybe you think that or you feel that you've had too much of this or that kind of foods, maybe alcohol. So how do we reset? How do we correct this? Well, the first thing you need to know is that you have to take an inventory of yourself. You have to take a mental snapshot of your thinking, how you're thinking about your life situation. And the way to do that is you got to go quiet. You got to go someplace where you're not distracted. You can take a walk in the woods. You can park your car someplace. You put your phone on do not disturb. You don't want any emails. You don't want any text messages. You don't want anybody bothering you. You don't need a whole day for this, by the way. You'd be surprised by trying this for half an hour, 15 minutes, what good things it can yield. So you need to go someplace where you can just be alone with your thoughts until they slow down, because the thoughts are darting, right? There's so much going on in the world, so much information coming at us like bullets, right? And they're darting through your mind, and you're trying to orchestrate what you're supposed to be doing on a day-to-day basis, and your mind is just racing with all these thoughts. So you got to go someplace quiet. You got to take it down. Close your eyes, breathe, and just try that for 10 to 15 minutes, and then start to think about your life as it is right now. What's working, what's not working, what you like and what you don't like about it. And that's going to give you a good mental picture and a correct one to see where you're at and what you need to do. Now, once you've done this, once you've cleared your mind a little bit, and by the way, this is like they call it meditation, right? But for our purposes, we're going to be calling it just, you're going dark. You're shutting out the world for whatever amount of time you can afford, 15 minutes, half an hour, an afternoon. It all depends on your lifestyle. But once you do that, it's best to develop an attitude of gratitude. We've heard that a million times. Have an attitude of gratitude. And it's very, very true. And I'll tell you why. Maybe you haven't heard it put this way. Because by being thankful for what you have, you sort of balance the scales. When you're trying to look at life in general, we tend to compare our lives to things that are greater than our present situation or circumstance. You always compare yourself to people who, wealthy people or celebrity people, people like way up high, what you feel is far, far beyond your current position in life. We don't ever really compare ourselves to people who are less fortunate, right? So by having an attitude of gratitude, what you're doing is you're tipping the scales in your direction, or at least you're making them balanced again. And when you do that, you become aware of how fair life has really been to you, no matter what's going on. I mean, there's shit's going on everywhere in everyone's life. Nobody is problem free, okay? And when you think like that, you're setting at zero when you wake up. You're not negative, you're at zero, right? And the best thing to do is write it down. We all talk about have an attitude of gratitude. How many things can you be grateful for, be thankful for in your mind at one time, right? 1, 2, 3, maybe. Oh yeah, I like this, I like that, I'm grateful for this coffee. But if you were to take 15 minutes in the morning before you went to work, or maybe 15 minutes at night before you went to bed, and you wrote down exactly what you're grateful for. I'll tell you what, you start in the morning, the first thing you can write down is you woke up. Okay? You should be grateful. I'm grateful. I know you are. I'm just kidding. But that's something you can write down, and you can take it from there. It could be, what to be grateful for. It takes practice, but you can figure this out, right? So you got to have that attitude of gratitude. You know what? We showed up on the planet, and life doesn't owe us anything, okay? Not a thing. And we can have good experiences, and we can have more good experiences based upon that philosophy, that way of thinking. You always have to have a plan in life, right? Even if you just have a compartmentalized life that is always the same, it's never always the same, because you have the outside stuff that comes in, right? You have what you can control, and you have what is beyond your control. And a lot of times people think like the stuff that's beyond your control, it's always the bad stuff, right? Well, what can you do? It's beyond your control. But maybe beyond your control is a good thing, because the things that are within your control puts you in the pilot seat, right? So when things flip around on you, or something goes sideways, or something unexpected happens, it doesn't have to be a bad thing, but when it does, you don't have any control over that. Well, now you're in the co-pilot seat, right? Now this thing is driving, and it might drive you to someplace better than where you were. So, it's okay not to have control of everything, because it's exhausting. It's draining to try to always manage your life in such a way that you have total control. It's impossible. And it ultimately leads to, frustration and disappointment. So you have to have a plan, and your plan usually has to have goals. You have to set up goals, right? So when you set up your goals, you have to come up with a strategy. And, a lot of people will say, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know what I'm good at. Usually the things you like and the things you're skilled at will be an inclination as to what maybe you could pursue. You have to have passion in your life for what it is you want to go after. Now, I'm not talking about like, you pick a job because the income is there, but you're not really happy about that. You know what? We've all done that. We've all taken jobs that we didn't like. The only difference is the word progress, right? You can do something for 4 years that you don't like, as long as you know that at the end of those 4 years, you're going to get out of it, or it's for a reason. It's for the next step up, or the next 5 steps, right? But if you're just going around in circles, just doing the same old thing with no purpose and no goal in life, then life becomes mundane and boring, and you get disillusioned, and then you start having a bad attitude, and then you start checking off all the things that are wrong, and then your gratefulness goes out the window, right? But when you're passionate about something, you can take those 4 years of that job you didn't like, because you're working towards that thing. So the passion is there because you need to be in love with what you're going to attempt to do with your life, because you need that for all of the setbacks and disappointments and failures and heartaches that are normal in life. That's what it takes. That's going to happen to everybody. Whether you do something or not, it's going to happen. So you might as well use it as fuel, okay? Now, your plan requires a few things. It requires energy. It requires vitality. It requires strength, both mental and physical, right? It requires courage. You need courage to take action, courage to start, courage to, change what isn't working in your life. And you also need belief. You need belief in yourself, belief that you can do it. You need belief in something else bigger than yourself that will help you, because we all need help. We don't go anywhere in life all by ourselves. We are a network of people touching each other and helping each other, sometimes in the strangest ways. But and then you need patience, and then you need endurance, right? You have to endure. Patience and endurance go together. And then you need perseverance, right? Because you have to, like I said, you have to persevere so that you can withstand. That's why passion and perseverance go together, because if you're not passionate about something, you won't have the perseverance. And that's what it takes to weather all of the storms, to get through that stuff. And by the way, the storms is the classroom where your character is built, okay? There's an old saying that, when you're taking a test, the teacher is silent, right? And a lot of times we feel alone in our storms, but you're never alone, okay? So there is a formula in business, which is you, number one, come up with your plan. Number two, you execute your plan. Number three, you find out what's working and what's not working. And four is you change what's not working. And I think people get stuck right there because they don't change what's not working. You know yourself, probably people that keep trying the same thing. Even we do it. I've done some things in my life where I keep trying the same thing. Why are you doing that? But that's the business plan. It's the plan, execute it, find out what works and what doesn't work, and change what doesn't work. You have to do that. Okay. Distractions. Let's talk about that, right? There's so many distractions out there. And information can be true, and it cannot be true. And what do I mean by that? Information is always changing. We never get like a whole story, it seems. We get little, dribs and drabs of stories. They throw it on the news, and you're following that, and you're coming to your own conclusions now about how things are or what's going on. And pretty soon you're preoccupied with that, and you take your focus off of your life and your goals and what you've been working on, and you start following all that stuff out there, social media, news outlets. You have to train your mind to pose questions, before you react or before you respond. You always question things, question authority, question everything, because you have the right. It's called critical thinking. Cell phones. Everyone's checking cell phones. What's everyone up to? Like you get on there and you're looking at websites and social media platforms and news channels and the weather and this and that, and you're paying attention to everything out there instead of paying attention to your own life. Who cares what everyone's doing out there, right? I mean, there's useful information, there's useful things that apply to your vocation or your passion or where you're trying to go. Yes, but there's just too much information out there. Life is hardly long enough to get good at one thing. You can't do it all. You can't learn it all. So you gotta focus down. You gotta pick what you want to do and go after it, and then push everything else out. If something really bad or critical or shocking happens out there in the world, I'm sure someone's going to come and tell you, or you'll get a direct phone call. You do not need to watch this stuff all the time. And people say, well, I need to be informed. Yeah, you need to be informed. Okay, but you don't need to have it looped, running every 12 minutes all day long, the same story, and it's all bad, right? I mean, there's nothing healthy, wholesome, uplifting, positive, humorous about the news at all. In fact, they should just call it the bad news, right? And now for the evening bad news. All right, yeah, I said it, all right? It's not going to help you, all right? You can be informed, but you don't have to be afraid. You don't have to keep hearing things that are going to scare you and scare you into stopping what you're doing for your life. People are depending on you, not just yourself. We all have people that are depending on us, our family, our friends, our children, our parents. You got to be the strong person, and you can do it. You just got to figure out how to do it. And it all starts with these steps that I'm telling you. So where do we go from here? Health and fitness. This is very important. Why? Because you only have one body, and you could have all the money and the resources and the contacts and the favors and everything that you need to achieve your goal. But if you're not feeling well, if you're unhealthy, and a lot of that has to do with the way you take care of yourself, your personal choices and your personal habits, okay? If you don't have your health, you don't have anything. You don't even have the energy to get up in the morning. So it's very important how you take care of your body. And that's going to be another video, by the way. And if you find anything you like about this video, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, because I'm going to do a couple of videos based off of this one video. I can't get into all of it. But getting back to health and fitness, it's so important to take care of your body, especially actors, right? And then the models, right? We want to look as good as we can. We want to prolong our youthful look. We want to work out. Where a model is a model. What is a model? Well, that's exactly what it is. It's something that people look at as an example. And we as actors, the competition is phenomenal. All right, doctors don't compete with that many doctors, right? Actors compete against an enormous amount of competition. So you want to have all your aces up your sleeve, and your physical appearance is very important as an actor, right? I mean, I try to take care of myself. That's what really drove me to eat healthy and work out my whole life. I've been in a gym for 30 years. Why? First of all, I like it, but it's because of my passion, because of the career choice that I have made. I want to be ready for that role when I nail it, and you do too, and you will. You just got to stay on top of it. So it's very important to eat healthy. It's very important to make healthy choices. And that's another, like I said, it's another video. Like, well, it's hard, right? It's hard to discipline yourself to do the right thing. But there's a trick to all of that. There really is. You can trick the mind. You can, first of all, the easiest thing is know what's bad for you and get that on paper. I could tell you for the next 15 minutes, like what I will eat and what I won't eat. And I won't eat about 80% of what's found in a supermarket, okay? And like I said, I don't have time right now to explain that, but I will in the future. And, you find replacements. If you really like something, find something that you like that's just as good to you, you know? And that works with food, it works with alcohol. And another trick is, you know, if you don't buy it, you won't eat it, right? You don't want to go out at 10 o'clock at night to go, you know, get a gallon of ice cream. You won't do it, right? So there's a lot of different tricks you can do, but it's very, very important. And then you have to have consistency to make the result happen. And it will happen if you stick to things. Even the slightest change will yield a result, right? If you have a candy bar every day for 30 days, that's got to yield a different result than if you had a banana every day for 30 days. It's unavoidable. It's going to produce a different result. So you have to make sure that you know, you're paying attention to all this, because it's very, very important. And sometimes, you know, foods that you eat and beverages that you drink, they can affect how you think. You know, they can make you tired, they can make you irritable, they can make you depressed. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of additives, a lot of poisons in food today. I don't mean literal poisons, but I mean things that the body doesn't like. And it has a great effect on how you feel. And, you know, like I said, you have to feel good. And, you know, you have to push yourself with all of this stuff that I'm telling you. You have to be relentless. You have to be resourceful. You have to be creative. You have to be determined. You know, you have to really, really want this in your life. And you can do it one step at a time, one day at a time. You know, nobody ever really caved in from the pressures of the day. It's when you start, you know, examining all the pressures of the next day and the following day and the week and the month that you will find you can't handle it anymore. And we don't think like that. We take things one step at a time. When you build a wall, you start with one brick at a time. You know, when I'm climbing a mountain, I don't look at the whole mountain when I'm going up there. I don't look around either. I don't stop in the middle of the mountain and look back and look down and see where I'm at. I don't do none of that stuff. I go up the mountain like Spider-Man. I just go straight up and I don't worry about anything until I get to the top. And then I say, that was a good climb. And again, if you find any value in this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I've got more things to elaborate on, and I will in other videos. So until then, take all of that, apply it in your life. Don't worry about too many things. Be a warrior. Don't be a worrier, okay? We're all going to get through this. We're going to be determined to do it, and you're going to see there's plenty of good stuff coming.